Well, it's a joy to be back with you again. For those of you, I look out and I know most of you, but there are some of you who I don't know. I am the old retired guy that they bring back out of the closet every now and then. No, I did not say retarded. I said retired. Might be just closer than you think. But it's great to be back with you again. It's easy to fall out of routines. And as I was walking up the patio this morning for the 7:45 service, I thought to myself, all my robes are at home. Wonder what I'm going to wear this morning. Hadn't remembered that. And I have my own Bible that has all my ribbons in it so I can mark all the passages. And I thought, left that at home too. So you tend to get out of the routine. I had to go in the rector's closet there and find something that I thought, I don't know whose this is, but it fits, so I'm taking it. Somebody said this morning, what a lovely stole. I think, yeah, it is a lovely stole. I wish I knew whose it was. It's not mine. Well. I'm supposed to be preaching. Do I remember how to do that? We'll have to see. Let's look for a moment at the passage this morning of Jesus in the gospel reading. One of the things that Jesus could do extremely well was just while walking from place to place, notice something and turn it into a whole teaching. He could say things like, a sower went out to sow, watching somebody out there sowing. Or a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and give a teaching about that. Or a father had a couple of sons. Just take an everyday, ordinary experience and turn it into something absolutely profound. Today he gave a teaching that said, well, there was this vine, and this vine had some fruit growing on it. Let's look for a moment at vines and fruits and how in some way that may potentially relate to who we are today. Let me take you back to, I went to grade 13. I know it doesn't exist anymore, but some of us went to grade 13. Back in grade 13 biology, what is the purpose of fruit? Come on, I'll wait for it. We didn't go to grade 13. I see. Fair enough. Well, some people would say the whole point of fruit is to be either attractive or it's to be nourishing. But biologically, that's not the purpose of fruit. The whole purpose of fruit is that inside that fruit there is a seed. And the purpose of that fruit is that somebody will come along and say, I'm going to pluck that fruit. I'm going to take it with me, kind of munch on it along the way, and somewhere later on, I'm going to discard, but the seed is then going to grow up in a place entirely different where there had been no seed before. Okay, so fruit. What might Jesus be talking about developing fruit in our lives? If we look at some of the teachings of St. Paul as well in Galatians 5, he talks about fruit of the Spirit. He talks about things like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, self-control, all as being fruits of the Spirit. So could it be that one of the things Jesus is saying is that are we developing in our lives qualities of life, fruits, that are so attractive that other people see it in us and see the fruit of patience, long-suffering, and say, I'm going to pluck that fruit from you and take that with me. If they take it with them, are they getting a seed or not? You see, in nature, there is no such thing as a seedless fruit. What would be the point? Humanity has developed seedless fruit that looks wonderful, tastes pretty good, but it's not going to create any new life anywhere else. And so Jesus is saying, oh church, when you develop the fruit in your life, are you giving a seed along with the fruit? I think we do that two ways. One is by words and one is by actions. By acting out our patience, other people will see it. And will say, boy, under fire, when all of the world is crashing down all around, I just love the patience, the gentleness, the kindness that you have. So the first thing is people will see us by our actions, but our actions in and of themselves are not enough. There has to be a word that goes along with it that says, actually, let me tell you how God has been developing patience in my life. Let me tell you that this self-control that you see in me is something that God's been working on me about. So that when they pluck our patience, they're also getting a seed along with it that says, it's not something I do, it's something that God has been doing in me. And when they take that, they take a thought away with them that hadn't been there in the first place and has the potential to grow up into new life. You see, Jesus was saying, if we're going to develop fruit, it's not something we do. He said, well, how often have you seen a branch lying on the ground that spontaneously generates fruit? I don't know about you, but I've never seen that. I have seen branches that will get torn off in a windstorm, something like that, and might still have fruit on them, but I have never seen a branch lying on the ground develop its own fruit. And so Jesus is saying it's not something actually that we do. It's something that God does in us that develops the fruit. To me, at least part of that has to do with being able to be here in worship. And that there is something that happens in worship that develops fruit. We all know the one who says, I can worship God on the golf course on Sunday mornings. And that's absolutely true. You can. My question is, do you? Worship is not the first thing that comes to my mind as I... but if we are not here in the body, can we develop fruit totally on our own? And Jesus is saying, no. There is something that happens when we are abiding, he says, or remaining in Christ. He says, those that abide or remain in Christ will grow fruit